Hello and welcome back to Aimhi. My name is Phil Wilcox. I'm a poet, I'm an English tutor, and today we're going to be continuing our summer series on Help Aim High Write a Poem. Oh no, was my video on for ages and I was just like waiting for it to appear, NZ Catherine? Is that why I look lonely? I'm not lonely. I've got all these lovely books behind me in my house. I've even got just here a gold lamp. So whoever thought of like a real rich guy being lonely. I'm not rich. Rich people are often lonely, but I'm not lonely. Maybe it's because I've got like the program I'm using to stream is called Lonely Stream. Hopefully this won't be a lonely stream. Hopefully we can get a few more people. NZ Catherine, how are you going? What's the situation? Are you in New Zealand? How is that? It's winter there. I'm in London right now, where it's really surprisingly hot. And before we get started, I've got a little graph that I want to show you. Yes, I'm okay. Nice, cool. New Zealand. I've only been there once. Been to the South Island. Did some hikes. Real lovely. But for everyone, pretty sucky. I'm sorry it's been so sucky. Why is it sucky? Whereabouts do you live? Is it just cold right now? Let me know. While we're doing that, the South is the best. I don't know. I've never been to the North, but I agree with you. The South was so beautiful. Went to Abel Tasman National Park, went on a hike, went down near Queenstown, did some fun things. Auckland's cool. Oh, school's back. Damn, I'm sorry. As Aim High is back, I'm drinking a green smoothie that's actually kind of purpley brown. It's got lots of kale and kombucha and raspberries in it, so it's real good for you. I made it myself. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to start our session, and I just want to ask this question to people out there, including you, NZ Catherine. What have the last few weeks been? And on this graph, we have all the way up that end, we have a blue whale. And then on this end, we have the world's smallest mammal, which is actually a bat. And that's it tiny being held by someone in their hands. I can't remember the name of this bat. I think it's like a Philippine micro bat or something. I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe someone can let me know what that is. It looks yuck. It does look yuck. It looks so gross. It actually tastes pretty nice though. It's pretty sweet. But yes, it does look gross. So what do you reckon? What size mammal are you at the moment for how you're feeling about the last few weeks? Maybe it's winter and you're NZ Catherine and you're back to school, and so maybe you'd be something tiny like, I don't know, a little ferret. Or maybe you've been going really well, you've been kind of like killing it, life's been good, it's summer, maybe you're in your northern hemisphere, maybe you're on holidays and you're like a giant hippo or something. Let me know what animal you are and I'm going to graph it in. So I'm going to start off with me. Let me think. So things have been going pretty well. I've been making some preparations to get married, which I'm really excited about. I've been writing a whole bunch of stuff, which has been really good. I haven't been able to write much in lockdown. I think just feeling the anxiety and stress. So I think I'm going to be like a really large dog. I think that's going to be me. Oh no, this is the world's worst dog. A really large dog. What are you? That looks more like a mouse. Oh, NZ Catherine, an ant all the way over here. I'm sorry to hear that. I'll draw an ant with its 6 legs. little tiny ants. Mer looks a little bit like a mouse. Thanks, MERS91, for your contribution. What animal would you be on this spectrum? How you been feeling the last few weeks? It's a powerful smoothie. I'm not gonna lie. Great ant, an otter. Oh, I love otters. Well, otters can be all sorts of sizes because you can get those like little Asian small clawed otters, and then you can have giant otters in the Amazon, which can be up to 7 feet long. That looks better than your mouse. It's not a mouse, it's a dog. And Catherine, I'm gonna see if I can draw an otter. Okay, so they've got like a long body. Oh, this is already terrible. They've got like a pointy tail, little claw legs, and like a cute that's my otter. All right, well, that's the art drawing lesson done. Good. Yeah, I don't think I've ever drawn up. That would be hard. It was really hard. Thanks, MERS91. Let's not enter you for the Plantet competition that Jazz recommended. Yeah, maybe not. All right, we're gonna get started, and we're gonna get started with how to write a book. This lesson is gonna be called "Kill Your Darlings," helping Aimhi write a book. And this week we're going to be focusing specifically on editing. Now, we're just going to see how this looks. So, for instance, editing. This is a quote from Robert Graves, and Robert Graves said this quote: "There's no such thing as good writing, only good rewriting." I really love this quote. I think it's a beautiful quote, but it's also kind of brutal. I love to think that when I finished something, like just writing it, it's done. I don't have to think about it. But actually, Robert Graves here is saying that, yeah, your job is not even halfway done. When you finish something, you need to rewrite it. You need to edit it. You need to go over it. And that's what's going to make it good. Which, I don't know about you, but it goes against this whole idea that we think about when we think of people who have genius level intelligence, that they just come up with this idea and it just channels through them and they just write it and then it's done. And they never kind of edit it. But maybe that's more of a myth, or maybe more rare than we think about. Actually, good work, whether it's writing or whether it's something else, some other art form like visual arts, which I'm not good at, is all about going over it, fixing it, changing it, doing it again, getting better. And that's what we're going to be looking at today. We're going to be looking at editing, because I believe there are 4 things that we can learn, and if we do learn them, they're going to change how we kind of think about writing completely. It's almost like a cheat sheet. I'm giving you 4 things, and these 4 things will take your writing from here all the way up to here. And they're just 4 things. These are the most important things, but I was wondering if you could maybe guess them. So here's the question: what are the most common mistakes you find in writing? Okay, we're going to be looking at 4 things. So what do you reckon? The 4 most common mistakes you find with writing. How about this one? I've given you a clue with the picture. What do you think this picture represents for the most common mistakes in writing? So this is number 1. What do you think? Ferret, hello. I love that. So, the most common mistakes in writing, number 1 picture, what do you think? I don't know what we got here in this picture. We've got like a woman with a with a umbrella, and then there's a whole bunch of words coming down from the sky. What do you think? I'm going to drink my smoothie while hopefully I have some ideas about what will be number one most common mistake. Not in the right place or too often. Interesting. Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. I think that is a problem, but I'm talking even broader, even kind of a broader problem. This picture is meant to represent falling from the sky, and there being so many words that it's almost like flooding this person. And so if we move this aside, we have one of the most common mistakes, which is that there are too many words. Too many words used. Often when people write poetry or they write a story, even if they write an essay, they use way too many words than they need to. And people, that's good, I've got to get my word count up. It's going to look really, really kind of like important and professional. But no, you use too many words. All those words lose meaning because there's so much fat and excess around the thing that you want to say. And so when we're thinking of writing, and when we're thinking of writing a poem, we want to use the smallest amount of words possible. Now, this isn't always the case. Sometimes we want to deliberately use lots of words to confuse or charm or enchant the reader, but often we use too many words. And when we're thinking of too many words, I'm doing it right now in this conversation. I've used too many words to explain this concept because I'm doubting myself, I'm repeating stuff, and this is a common problem in writing, repeating stuff. So I'm gonna write a phrase, that, maybe even a line for a poem, and I wonder if you can help me in editing it to use less words. So here we go. Ooh, one of my teachers once said that you should scan your essays for the word that. Apparently it gets really overused and doesn't always need to be there, although sometimes it does need to be there, so be careful. Interesting. I really like that. MERS91, you got it word for word. How about we use a quote from MERS91 to see if we can analyze it. So one of my teachers once said that you should scan your essays for the word. All right, let's write that. You should scan essays for the word that. Apparently it gets really overused. Gets really overused. Okay, sorry that I sort of smushed it in there. How about this? So you can scan it, the Word document. That's a great idea, MERS91. You can just put in the find thing that, and it highlights where it is and go, ooh. Another one is like. Like gets overused, but I think maybe, and I hate to put you on the spot here, MERS91, I think you might have overused a word in this little phrase here. Now, I mean, you were just typing that in the comment section, and it's actually quite a succinct, kind of tight little comment that you made. But I was wondering if maybe what we could do is analyze this to see how we could make this tighter. All right. Okay, I know it's okay. So what do you think? I had to smush because there's too many words. What do you think? I would argue that. Oh no! Got to get the screen back. I would argue that there are too many words, but that the word is actually really. So if we have a look here, it gets really underused. Really and very and that and like are words that often get overused. That, really, very, and like. Okay, let's look at another thing that we can do, and maybe we can have a go at editing. The other one is, what do you think this picture represents? What does this picture represent for another way in which maybe writers make mistakes? Feel lonely screen. I know, feel lonely screen. The screen is so lonely, and sometimes my Bluetooth plays up. It's been doing pretty well. Funny. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking you were meaning the lonely screen thing. So what do you think this picture could represent for ways in which we could edit poems, or ways in which authors maybe make mistakes with poems? Let's have a look. Forcing them down our throat? Maybe, yeah. That's a pretty good interpretation. This one's pretty abstract. That's another really good thing. But I went with this. That a lot of the time, authors get drunk on adjectives. Now, when I say adjectives, who can tell me what that means? What sort of word is an adjective? I've also got NZ saying chunging words, trying to get every down before you forget it. Chunging words. I love the word chunging. Is that a New Zealand word? I think Mers91 is also Kiwi. Mers91, can you chime in? Is chunging a New Zealand word? And also, what does it mean? Did you meant to say changing? I love it. What's an adjective? A describing word? Yes, an adjective is a describing word, which you might be thinking, Phil, that's a great thing when I'm writing. I want to be describing things because I'm deep and I'm a hella good writer and I want to be able to describe things. I'm going to use adjectives. And yes, adjectives are important. But when we write poetry, we want to describe things not necessarily by using descriptive words, but by describing action or comparing something to something else. So, one of the most famous poems in the English language, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Immediately, it doesn't say that use adjectives to describe the person. It's comparing them to a summer's day. And why that's better than adjectives is adjectives are so limited. If I was to say that, okay, summer's day is warm, that person's a warm person, that's so limited. But if I say they're a summer day, I think of freedom when I think of them. I think of them as warm. I think of them as pleasant. I think of them as beautiful. I think of them as hope-filled. All of a sudden, by comparing something to something else, we can magnify the things that we can say rather than limit them. So when you use too many adjectives, you think you might be doing a big thing of like making it bigger, but actually you're making it smaller. And there are other ways to make it bigger. And one of them is, instead of using adjectives, to compare something to something else. Chugging. Oh, okay, chugging, as in like glug, 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 glug. Chugging words, trying to get every down before you forget it. So just like this smoothie, this disgusting looking word smoothie, trying to like just put it all out there on the page. Yes, often when we write poetry, less is more, and this point is very similar to the point before, but it's like use less words and use them more strategically. All right, let's keep going on. This one here, I don't know if you can read that, and I don't know if you know what movie this is from. Let me know, Mers91 or NZ Catherine, if you know what movie this is from. This is such a small class, but I'm kind of loving it. We've got 2 New Zealanders, 2 Kiwis, and let me know if you know where this quote is from, what movie. Born in Christchurch, but live in the UK now. Yeah. Monty Python. It is. It's from a Monty Python film, very old film, very funny film. And this is a scene in which King Arthur fights against a black knight, a knight all dressed in black. Now, in this scene, and I recommend you watching this if you haven't seen it, A Knight's Tale, R.I.P. Heath Ledger, I miss you. In this scene, King Arthur gets out his sword, has a sword battle with the knight in black, lops off an arm, and goes, okay, well, the battle's done, I've lopped off your arm. And then the knight keeps fighting back, and he goes, well, that's ridiculous. And then so lops off a leg. And so he's got one arm, one leg. It's like, okay, that's over now. It's like, no. Keeps fighting and lops off another arm. And he goes, okay, you fought bravely. And he says, no, I'm still good. And starts hopping around trying to kick King Arthur. So he lops off his last leg, and he's just got no arms, no legs. And anyway, why do you think this might be related to mistakes that people make when it comes to writing poetry? Let's have a look. It's not all in black, that's true. I'm gonna show you this theory that I have. And this is a theory that I have, which is that if you show in an exaggerated, dramatic way something and people can see all of it, like someone's arm getting lopped off with a sword, you might think